Hi Gemini, how are we? Just doing our weekly reading this today, looking at your person. I will also be doing a no contact portion as well. So the first portion, kind of, whether or not you are in contact, we can be watching that one. But then that second portion will be in regards to the person that you're connected to, that you're not currently in contact with. Okay. So I am today using the Seventh Seal Lenormand deck. I do also have the Island Time Wellness Oracle there. And I'm actually using some rune cards as well. So we've got the Witch's Familiar Runic Oracle there that I'll just be grabbing a bit of an overview with. Now make sure you do sort of like and comment on the video, because any comments you will go in the draw for a free personal reading when that's drawn. So make sure you subscribe as well so you can keep updated when that is drawn. Don't mind when I do stop and make sure I'm taking timestamps for us as well. But getting right on into it there, Gemini, well, like I said, we'll start off with a runic oracle card for you today, a bit of an overview of you and your person. So Gemini and your person. Gemini and your person, please. Okay, so we're getting the Laguz rune coming through for you there. You can see the beautiful image of the seahorse on that one. So seahorses are, one of those really unique kind of lovely animals there. You probably already know, but seahorses are one of the only creatures where the males actually take care of the babies. So it's always been something very interesting I have found. But the Laguz rune there, it does talk about flow, memory, as well as the unconscious and dreams, and having a strong fate and karma kind of vibe to it as well. So, we may be looking at some sort of fated connection, a karmic connection for some reason, but also with the unconscious and the dream state when it comes to the Laguz rune there. Any dreams that you are having at this time, especially if they do involve your person, you may sort of want to look into those, and they may be quite symbolic for you at this time. Okay. But looking into Gemini and your person, we'll have a bit of a deeper look today and see what's sort of going on with this connection. Gemini and your person, please. What's going on? Gemini and your person. Okay, so this is a pretty straightforward message for the overall energy there. We are seeing the sun as well as the letter. Okay, so the letter is a communication card. So we're looking at all sorts of, letter, like communication, letters, text messages, online chatting, phone calls, all those sorts of things, emails, everything like that. But with the sun there, it is pretty much just saying this is something super happy communication coming on through there. It is a happiness card, the sun there, but there also sometimes with the sun there can be a few things coming to light that you may not have been aware of previously. Okay, so this communication, it may bring a few things to light within the connection. It may reveal a little bit of energy going on there for you guys, but overall we're just sort of looking at some really happy communication between you and your person at the moment. So that's like I said, pretty straightforward there, Gemini. But we'll have a look. Gemini and your person, how does your person feel about you, Gemini? Your person's feelings towards you, Gemini. Okay, so we are seeing some really great energy once again. We do have the masculine energy coming on through there, so it doesn't really matter gender, but whether your person, usually we do find that dynamic within any sort of connection, one more masculine, one more feminine. So the masculine energy really does talk about, the more logical side of things. Okay, so their feelings at the moment probably are quite, logical rather than emotion based at this current time. Sort of, very stoic kind of energy there, and it sorry about any background noise. My neighbour's been quite loud today, but basically there, yeah, just that masculine kind of energy, a little bit more domineering and controlling sometimes, but I'm not feeling that in a negative vibe at the moment. We are just really sort of talking about that logical, realistic state of mind at the moment. I feel your person is kind of feeling towards you. They're just sort of really thinking things through in a really reasonable kind of manner, logically, not letting their emotions cloud their sort of feelings too much at the moment. But we are also seeing the lily as well as the bouquet there. Okay, so they are really both beautiful energy when it does come to somebody's feelings about you. The bouquet is a giving sort of energy. It's talking about wanting to give to you, give to this connection. Okay, as well as receiving in return from you. It's a lot about pleasure and rewards and gifts. Okay, so they may even be feeling like they want to give you a physical gift as well. Since these both are flowers, I would be sort of veering on the side of, this masculine energy may come towards you with some flowers sometime soon. Not good at showing their emotions, other than maybe they're more of a gift giver to show emotion rather than actually getting into the nitty gritty of emotion. But we are actually seeing that emotion coming through with the lily card regardless, okay, because it is a very intimate card. And so they are wanting to give you intimacy, and they are wanting to sort of connect to you on a more intimate kind of level. Not necessarily just physical intimacy. It can be talking about emotional intimacy and vulnerability as well. So they are wanting to give you that, but with that male aspect, I am sort of feeling that maybe they're struggling to actually, do that in a way that makes sense emotionally, with like through feelings rather than in a more reasonable, logical kind of manner, to express intimacy in a more logical fashion rather than rather than an emotional fashion. But the lily also really does talk about long term and longevity. Okay, so they're really feeling that this connection is going to be some sort of long term thing for them. Their feelings are those sort of feelings that do sort of bring around that long term. This is going to be something like for a very long time. I want this person for the rest of my life kind of vibe coming on through with that. So once again, bringing into mind with that rune, we saw that fate, that karmic kind of connection coming on through. So that's kind of the vibe I'm getting with the longevity with that as well. They're feeling that this is sort of like their fate is to be with you and give to this connection. So their feelings are actually super positive towards you at the moment, Gemini. Okay, so Gemini, your person's next actions towards you. Your person's next actions towards you, Gemini. Okay, I'm just going to grab some clarity for that particular message. Can I please clarify Gemini's person's actions towards Gemini, please? Okay, so I feel like this is kind of, it's something that's going to maybe affect you, but it's not directly at you. I don't feel, Gemini. We are seeing the coffin there as well as the crossroads, and then that was clarified by the tree, which kind of makes me, that brings around that understanding that it probably is more to do with themselves and their self growth. Rather than the connection directly, but obviously, if you guys are in a connection, that's probably something that is, going to have a flow-on effect regardless. Okay, so even if it's something for themselves, it still is going to affect the connection in some way, shape, or form. But what we're sort of seeing happening here is there is something that the coffin really does talk about death and rebirth. So I feel like there's some sort of cycle that they're choosing to end. Okay, because with the crossroad really does talk about choices and decisions. Choosing the right path for you. So it really feels that they're trying to make this choice about whether they need to close out something. Okay. If they do choose to close that out and end whatever that is, like I said, it's going to be something to do more so with their particular life rather than the joint energy. It's so there may be something going on for them external to the connection. So this could be like a work thing or anything like that, friendships, those kinds of things. But I am feeling that it's external to the connection, and they're trying to sort of decide whether they want to end something and choose that path of ending that, or whether they're going to sort of continue in this cycle at the moment. I feel like they probably will close something out, or even if they don't close it completely, it's going to bring around that rebirth as well. So they're going to end something in order to bring in new energy. But I feel that it's probably work related. I don't know why I'm getting that. That's the sort of vibe I'm getting, that it may be something at their work. It could be something like, wanting to end their current work position, so that they can look for a new job or something like that. But it's definitely something about something ending, so that something else can sort of come on in. And they're just a little bit unsure at the moment. I feel that, which choice do I make, kind of a vibe. So I feel like this might be something that, they're going to want to talk through with you in the near future. And because it may affect the connection. Okay. Like I said, and it's going to bring around some self-growth. It seems to be more about, have those strong elements of something. They're trying to find a bit of wisdom and clarity at the moment with this choice, but it's really feeling like it's got something to do with their own personal self-growth, and their own personal sort of expansion, as a person, as in this life. They're kind of just wanting to sort of branch out in some way, shape, or form. So we may be looking at something ending for them, your person, quite soon, if they do choose to go that way. So we'll grab some outcomes and have a look, see, if that, once they do make that choice, what outcomes are we looking at in the connection? So Gemini and your person. Near future outcomes, please, for Gemini and their person. Okay, so I am seeing the house and the stork energy. Okay, so going back to that choice that they might be making there, I feel like it could definitely be related to wanting to move house. Okay, with the house coming out there, because the house and the stork together really could possibly talk about moving house. As an outcome. Okay, so you guys may actually move in together soon if you're not already living together. I feel like that may be the choice that they're wanting to make. Like, should I ask Gemini to move in with me, or should I move in with Gemini? It does feel that that's highly possible. That could actually be what that's all about. But we are seeing with the house that really does bring around that sense of stability and security. It's kind of like that sense of family as an outcome. So it's feeling like Gemini is my family, my home to come back to, sort of a thing. And then with that stirk, I don't know where that came from, but stalk energy there. The stalk really does stir up new elements. Okay, so really looking at stirring up new elements within the stability and security of the connection in the near future. So your outcomes are going to be some new elements coming on through into the connection. So that may be, when we go back, this may be what this news is all about. Wanting to stir up this new energy, wanting definitely could be something about that choice they're making, and that choice could definitely be connected to housing as well. So it could definitely be physical housing that we're talking about today for you, Gemini. But yeah, definitely stirring up some new elements in the connection, and that really does talk about, you know, like things in their infancy. Okay, so it's kind of like that growing together kind of a vibe. We might just be at the birth of something new at the moment, but with the house there, it kind of really does sort of talk about wanting to grow together, and you know, keep secure together, to grow whatever this new element is. Okay, so that's actually looking really nice for you there. I did also just get an extra card come out, which was the garden card. Okay, so that does sort of just let us know that, you know, social elements may be really important in the near future as well. Okay, the garden does talk about that social, you know, places to go and meet, things like that. So it could just be talking about, you know, you and your person going out for dinner to have this conversation, going somewhere nice and restful and social. It literally could be talking about, you know, that house having a nice garden. I'm finding that the messages sometimes are quite literal and basic like that. So it definitely could just be talking about, you know, they want a house with a garden so that they can, you know, plant some new plants or something like that. You know, it could be quite literal as well. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab an oracle card for you as well, Gemini. Gemini and their person. Gemini and their person, please. Okay, so that's actually really interesting because that old Roxette song just started playing. That hello, how I love you. I want to join the joyride. That song. Okay, and it just occurred to me right as I pulled out this particular card. Okay, because we've got the cassette there, and this is a song I used to listen to on cassette Walkman back in the 90s. Okay, so somehow that song may be relevant, the Joyride kind of song. You know, it feels like you guys could be taking, you know, especially with that stalk in the garden coming on out there for you, there could be some sort of little joyride adventure coming up for you guys. But we are looking with the cassette. It does talk about sort of outdated thinking, conditioning, replaying events over in your head. So I just feel as though you yourself, Gemini, may be a little bit stuck on some stuff, and you may be sort of a little bit concerned about some things that have happened in the past. But I feel that with the rest of this energy that we're going to be moving straight on into sort of new energy, you know, and there will be some communication pretty soon. So, you know, if you are replaying events in your head, replay the positive ones. Don't get stuck in any outdated thinking within the connection, because we are seeing, you know, some really lovely energy coming through from your person. And I really feel that, you know, they are going to be making the right choices, and that stability and security is definitely sort of coming up between you both there. So when I saw the stork card stirring up that new energy, I feel like you yourself, Gemini, may just be struggling a little bit at the moment with that outdated kind of thinking. The way we're looking at the connection at the moment may be just a little bit outdated, and we kind of need to, you know, bring in some new elements, and just stop and think about all the positive things going on for you and this connection at the moment. You know, because I feel that maybe your thinking is just a little bit backdated with the connection itself. Okay, so and once again though, with that coffin in their energy for their actions, that may be why we're having a decision. They might be feeling that this is outdated. Whatever this decision they want to make, it may be because something is feeling outdated for them. So, you know, like I said, it may be a work or a home kind of situation. I don't feel as though that's anything to do with the connection in specific. So, yeah, nothing too worrisome there at all, Gemini. Going back to your person's feelings, yeah, we're just seeing those flowers is such a beautiful energy to be seeing in sort of the feelings aspects. So I do not have any cause for concern for you at the moment, Gemini. But I will move over into the no contact section. So we'll be looking at the person that Gemini is not currently in contact with. Okay. And like, it doesn't necessarily have to be a love situation, although I am kind of a little bit more swaying towards reading this in a love format at the moment. Could we do find, whatever comes out comes out. So however that resonates for you guys, I'll leave that to you. Obviously, we are doing a collective reading, so it may resonate slightly different for every Gemini there. Okay, Gemini and the person that they are not in contact with, please. What's going on with the Gemini and the person that they are not in contact with? Thought I had one flip, but no. Gemini and the person that they are not in contact with, please. Okay, and I'll just get a clarifier on that. Please clarify this message. Gemini and the person that they are not in contact with, please. Okay, what I'm feeling like. Okay, I'll show you the cards I've gotten there. I've gotten the snake energy. I have got the house energy, and then that was clarified by the mountain energy. Okay, so the mountain is kind of telling me that, what we're seeing here is two sides of a connection here. Okay, so we're seeing, I feel like this is probably you here, Gemini, and this is probably your person that you're not in contact with, but we are sort of seeing the mountain coming in between us. Okay, so the mountain is some sort of delay or obstacle or challenge in between us there. Okay, and what I'm feeling like that challenge is that, and obviously flip these two cards over if I've got it round the wrong way for you, Gemini. But like I said, I feel like this might be your energy wanting something a little bit more stable, secure, long term with this connection, and this is your person's energy where they're kind of only interested, I feel, in the physical side of things. Okay, that can talk about having quite a lot of desire for you, but it is more of a physical kind of desire, that temptation. Okay, so I'm feeling like there's one person that wants just sort of a physical connection, whereas the other person is wanting something a little bit more stable and secure, and possibly, long-term connection type thing. And that's kind of what the challenge is in between the two of you at the moment, I'm feeling. Okay, but now what's quite interesting with the mountain, I do find it's very, very important to remember that with every obstacle, that is also a potential opportunity as well. Okay, so even though we're seeing this sort of energy up here, there definitely is opportunities to overcome these obstacles. It's just a matter of whether they're sort of willing to put in the work and come back together or not. So we'll get a little bit more information for you there, Gemini. And obviously, if that doesn't resonate for your particular situation, you are more than welcome to check your other placements, as well as check, your person's sign. So you might get a bit more to the story kind of a thing. Okay, so Gemini and the person that they are not in contact with. How does this person feel about Gemini? The person that Gemini is not in contact with, how do they feel about Gemini? Okay, so once again, I really am feeling that snake energy belonged to them. We are seeing the lily and the fish there. Okay, so these can be read so many different ways, but the energy I'm getting off these right now is it's straight away wanted to remind me that this is another potential sex kind of card. Okay, this one does talk a little bit more about the intimacy, rather than just that physical lust kind of thing, but having the second one come out when we've already just sort of talked about that, especially when it's with the abundance card, it really kind of does lead me to believe that they really are in this snake energy of just wanting that. So And I kind of feel like, this does have an element to long term to it, but I am kind of feeling that long term, what they're actually wanting is different fish, as many fish as they. I'm getting player energy, big time, Gemini. So they're kind of really wanting to seek as much intimacy as they can. So I'm not feeling that that's coming from one specific person, Gemini. So I feel like Gemini, there may be more people that they are, they might be seeing other people. There might be, they may, even if they're not, they may be wanting to. Okay, and then sort of not wanting to tie themselves down to one little fishy at the moment. So I am sort of feeling that, they like I said, I'm just getting this player energy coming from their feelings, that, to them, it's all just, that's their main motive, and feelings at the moment are all sex based. Okay, so I'm sorry if that's a bit hard to hear, Gemini, but like I said, if it doesn't resonate for you and your connection, feel free to check the other placements, and also feel free to flip that. So if you're the one in the player energy, Gemini, which I'm not going to lie, I have picked up player energy in quite a few of your reads in the last few weeks, Gemini. So that may be you, okay, that I've picked up on there. That is a little bit of that player type energy. It's not necessarily a bad thing, like everybody is more than welcome to, go for what you want in this life, and if that's what you want at this time, I'm not going to judge at all. I've definitely been there. But since we are sort of asking about particular connections, this is what we're sort of seeing, okay? But Gemini and the person that Gemini is not in contact with. Outcomes between Gemini and the person that they are not currently in contact with, please. Okay, Gemini. There's not much else I can kind of really say. We are just getting the same story. What I'm seeing here is the child card that's coming through today as, immaturity. There's a bit of immaturity there. Like I said, they're only bothered about the physical stuff at the moment. They are being a little bit immature, or you are being a little bit immature with the way that we're looking at connections. We are only looking at them on a more physical sense, and I kind of really, I'm getting a strong message off this next two cards I've got here, okay, and this is going to be definitely not for everybody, okay, but if you are involved in this player energy, whether you are the one out there dating around, or whether your person that you're not in contact with is the one that's dating around, I don't actually get this message very often. So the me getting it at all is kind of letting me know that this is important for at least one of you guys out there, but I've got the clover and the whip, but the message I'm getting, that I'm talking about, is that you are taking too many risks, and you need to go and get checked, okay, because there's a definite possibility that at least one Gemini out there, you need to get checked for physical contact past things. Okay, I've got to be really careful the way I word things on YouTube, okay? But I think it's fine to say, STIs, but you never know. I'm not a monetized channel, so I don't. What can they do? Take my money away? Obviously, they can't do that. But I am feeling that may be a risk at the moment. Okay, when we see the clover, we really do talk about risk. Okay, there is a high element of risk when it comes to the clover. With this whip card, it's definitely a risk to yourself. The whip card is kind of like, it can be troubles and tensions, and it can also be that beating yourself up kind of energy. Okay, so it's feeling to me like that's pretty much all I'm getting from this right now, is that you're beating yourself up that you shouldn't have taken that risk. Okay, so it may not be, that medical check that you need. You may need to do a pregnancy test if you're a female. Okay, but I'm really getting your in the near future that this is an outcome. Okay, so if you continue with this connection, even though it's currently in no contact, if you do see this person that you're not in contact with, in the near future, this is a potential outcome. Okay, so you really need to be aware of that. That you're going to regret taking a risk. Okay, so like I said, I can only say what I see, and I'm actually not getting much else off that at the moment, other than you're just gonna. And like I said, it may not be that. It may just be you end up beating yourself up over taking the chance on them again. Okay, so however that resonates for you in your particular situation, but with that player energy, I really would be, going and getting some medical tests done, just in case. Okay, that I'm sorry, Gemini. I don't know what else to say about that there, Gemini. What I'll do for you guys, I feel bad. Like I when I get these messages, and I have no control over what messages I get, quite a lot of the time. But when I get these messages, I feel bad for you guys, because if I was in that position, where I would start to be concerned about that, obviously I would be concerned about that. Okay, so what I'm going to do, Gemini, is I'm going to ask a bonus question for you guys. Okay, so if Gemini is not interested in player energy, let us know what sort of person will be coming into Gemini's life next that is not a player. Tell us a little bit about the person that will be in Gemini's life next that will actually have some potential to not be a player energy, please. Okay, and tell us more about this person. Okay, so there's definitely the potential to be meeting other people, Gemini. There's definitely the potential to be meeting sort of long-term relationships. We've got the ring, we've got the garden. Okay, the garden talks about meeting, meeting somebody that you will have a connection with. Okay, this particular ring has the infinity symbol on there. So, pretty straightforward little story here. Definitely seeing potential to meet somebody that you're going to have a serious connection with. Okay, and now this particular person, they're going to be quite mature. Okay, we've got the tree coming out there, as well as the moon, so you're going to find them really attractive with that moon energy. They may be a little bit more emotional than you're used to in a connection. Okay, or it could actually be that they are quite intuitive as well. So sometimes with the moon, that really does talk about that intuitiveness as well, having that emotional sensitivity to the other things of non-reality kind of life, but they're going to be quite grown, quite mature as well, I feel, with that tree card there. And I feel like you might be branching out a little bit to a different type of person to what you're normally would date or whatever. And then the cross card there, we are seeing that would be a destined connection. Okay, and it's just sort of letting us know, trust in God, trust in the universe, whatever it is that you believe in, trust in the universe. And if you do want something more long term, trust that it definitely has the option to come through for you. Okay, Gemini. So if that was a bit concerning to you, that prior message, definitely keep your trust in the universe strong, and don't allow that energy to come around for you. Okay. So that was a bit of a crazy one, Gemini. I haven't had like I said, I have not had a message like that coming through for a very long time. So, um, there you go. There's a time for everything, I suppose. Everything comes up here and there every now and then. But today it was you guys, Gemini. So just be on your guard for that, okay? But yeah. So thank you so much for your time, Gemini, and leave me a comment and let me know if that resonates for you, and let me know if you are the player, and if we're vibing the player energy, or if your person is the one that might possibly be the player. Okay, I am feeling it's probably your person more so than you, but like I said, it's been popping up here and there in some of the Gemini readings. So, you know, you only live once. Hey, Gemini. So have fun, be safe. Thank you, Gemini.